Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. I hope you're doing well. It's Friday, March 26th. Hope your Friday's going well. Very quick video today before the weekend on great news on the targeted EIDL advance. I covered a lot of important stuff yesterday. I'm going to get into it with a quick recap, but there's some new information I want to share today, and I'm going to announce a new grant program of $500. I'll get into that. Be sure to watch until the end. Thanks so much for subscribing and liking this video. And I'd love to hear in the comments today what city or state you're watching from. I always love hearing that. So drop it in the comments. Let's dive right in. The big news I talked about yesterday is targeted EIDL advances are being approved rapidly. That was a direct quote from the SBA. Let me pull up the letter I talked about yesterday directly from our contact at the SBA. She's a high-level contact, and this, of course, came after the two other pieces of good news. Number one, EIDL loans have been increased to $500,000. That's starting in April. So if you got an EIDL loan already and you maxed out at $150K, the SBA will get in touch with you in the next few weeks on how to get more money if you're eligible. That's huge news. 3.75% interest rates. That's better than most private lenders. So this is a great lifeline for millions of businesses. The fact that you will have a chance to get more capital, low interest loan, 30-year low interest loan. Some of you asked in the comments yesterday, are the EIDL loans forgivable? The answer is no. However, as we've seen over the past year, things change all the time. I would not be surprised, it might be a long shot now or a medium shot, if there are changes to those rules. You know, people do not have to start making payments for another year until 2022 for EIDL loans. I would not be surprised if Isabel Guzman, many of you are praising her already for good reason. Maybe she made a decision to do some partial forgiveness. Again, a lot of this depends, of course, on the pandemic. We seem to be out of the woods and reopening, but don't count your chickens before they hatch. We've got a long way to go. SBA may decide in the future to forgive part of it or all of it. Who knows? Again, I would not take that off the table. So that's the EIDL loan good news. I talked about that. And of course, yesterday, the Senate voted to extend the PPP, this round of the PPP, by an additional 2 months. Also very good news if you are a small business or, more importantly, independent contractor. At the very least, if you had any Schedule C income, you are likely to a few $1,000s or more. It's worth checking out. We have our partner lenders, of course, I've talked about many times, but you can go to pppbonus.com to apply through Funding Circle or trackpploan.com to apply through Bluevine. So that was the news I talked about yesterday. I also shared this email directly from our SBA contact that said approvals are speeding up this week and they expect them to increase rapidly over the coming weeks. We have heard many reports from you in the comments that you are getting approvals. Here is what the approval email looks like. We got an example of this today. I wanted to share with you. You will get an email. This is different than last year. For the EIDL grants last year, the money just went to your bank account. You never got an email whether you were approved or not. Now they are saying that you are approved. Here's what it says. Your SBA targeted EIDL advance is approved. It'll be from targetedadvance@sba.gov. So check your email, check your spam folders. You can also see this on the portal, so the two should correspond. If you get this email when you go to the SBA portal, it should also say approved. It'll say your targeted EIDL advance application number, whatever, has been approved. Again, most applications started with either 3.6 or 3.3, has been approved in the amount of whatever the case may be, up to $10,000. This is separate from the new $5 billion that will go towards an additional $5,000. I'll talk about that more next week because we expect more news on that additional funding next week. This is just for the targeted EIDL advances that we've been waiting 3 months for, finally. Actually, tomorrow it's exactly 3 months since this funding was approved when Trump signed it into law. 3 months tomorrow, can you believe it? SBA will make an ACH deposit to the bank account you provided in your application. So if you don't see it after a few days, I would recommend getting in touch with the SBA to make sure they had your right bank information. As a reminder, the targeted EIDL advance does not need to be repaid. These are the grants, they're going out. I'd love to hear in the comments if you got this email today. I'm gonna run another poll next week too to see what the progress is like. This is some progress here. This is a poll, almost 3,000 votes from 2 days ago. 95% of you said you were still waiting. Last week it was 98%, but I bet if we ran this again today or even next Monday, it may be closer to 90%. So stuff is happening. I hope this is good news before the weekend if you get one of these emails. But if you don't get it today, be patient. Like that email says from our SBA contact, the pace is going to pick up in the coming weeks. So expect next week, that's the beginning of April, maybe the week after that. So drop it in the comments, not only where you're watching from, but if you've gotten this email yet that you've been approved. We've covered all this news on the Skip blog and app. Of course, it's Hello Skip in the App Store. The app is free. We've released new grant opportunities today. Again, you can start a free trial. We curate new grant opportunities, new funding opportunities. It's highly worth it. Even if you just get one over the course of the next year, it's completely worth it. We have experts coming in that will also share information in the coming weeks. Now, there's a new grant program. It's our grant program. As you know, since last August, we've been donating our YouTube revenue to subscribers of this channel and users of our app. We've given out tens of thousands of dollars. We are going to start next week a new $500 grants program. We will give out $500 grants on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to subscribers of this channel, so hit subscribe, and users of our app. There are details at the top of our app today. If you want to be eligible for $500 grants, download the app, take a look at the top. All the details are there on the app to make sure you're eligible. Many of you have commented often that it's better to wait for a skip stimulus than the actual government stimulus. I don't know about that, but we're trying to help as many businesses as possible. You know we've been at this for a long time, giving away our YouTube revenue. So you can go to the App Store and search Hello Skip, or go to youtubestimulus.com. That's our campaign. That goes to a link for our app, youtubestimulus.com. You will also get a $10 credit for a skip for future services, youtubestimulus.com. Again, 3 $500 winners next week. Hit subscribe, go to that link and find out how to enter to win. Wrapping up with more good news, household spending picks up after cooling last month. That's good news. Of course, a lot of you have your stimulus checks. You're using that for more spending. The data has always shown that stimulus checks do increase household spending. And maybe some of you small business owners have worked out of WeWork spaces across the US. WeWork announced today they are going to go public. They've had a rocky past couple years. It was worth sharing that news because they're going to go public in a SPAC deal. Meanwhile, infections across the country are flat, but there's no uptick, so overall positive news, and unemployment is at the lowest it's been since the beginning of the pandemic. As always, thank you so much for subscribing, liking this video. Can't wait to hear from you in the comments. Stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.